The mountains of the sleeping dragon. Curious creatures hide in these bamboo forests. But it's the giant panda, an international treasure, that we find so irresistible. The panda is a natural celebrity. Meet Xing Xing. He and his mate came here to the National Zoo in Washington, a gift from China. From the moment they arrived, the pandas were the most popular exhibit at the zoo. Now, only Xing Xing survives, the only panda in the United States. As one of the most endearing and most endangered animals in the world, pandas always attract a lot of attention. But few of us know much about how they really live, about wild pandas in the far-off mountains of China. Of the sleeping dragon. Giant pandas live in mountain forests of birch, fir, and hemlock. Beneath the canopy, the all-important bamboo grows as a kind of undergrowth, up to 6 feet high. Each leaf is selected individually. It uses its acute sense of smell to sniff out ripe, delicious shoots. This little panda ranges from northern India through Burma and into China. But like its more famous relative, the red panda is a rare animal. There may be only 2,000 of them in the wild. In the branches above, a female parrotbill has reason to be anxious. The vertical stems support her nest, and a foraging panda could accidentally cause its downfall. Pandas' forepaws have 6 digits. Above the rich fields, above the bamboo forests, high in the alpine meadows of the Sleeping Dragon Mountains, women come searching for buried treasure. The women belong to the Zhang people, originally from Tibet. They come to these high meadows every spring and have only 2 or 3 weeks to gather a most peculiar harvest. It's slow, back-breaking work that requires a sharp, experienced eye, for this treasure is not easy to spot. Protruding from the short grass is nothing more than a longer, thicker stem. But for believers in traditional Chinese medicine, this strange little stalk is far more precious than gold. It's one of China's most potent and sought-after remedies, believed to strengthen muscles and enrich the blood. They call it cow chong, or grassworm. But the stalk is neither grass nor worm. It's a strange amalgam of animal and plant, a fungus that preys upon caterpillars. The spores of the fungus germinate within the air tubes of the caterpillar and spread throughout its body, slowly eating the insect alive. It's the fungus that emerges the following spring as a long stalk. Once above ground, the spore capsule at the top of the stalk explodes to release spores into the air. Some will land in the air tubes of other caterpillars and begin the cycle anew. The caterpillar will burrow into the earth to pupate, but will never know life as a moth. Between the lowland farms and the high alpine meadows, the mountain forests still abound with bamboo. Wild creatures are here to harvest it, sometimes from beneath the ground. When he's ready, he deposits his scent higher up the... Unlike its larger cousin, a male red panda knows exactly where to find his females. They scent mark using both scent and perfumed urine, but they do it all year round on trails bordering their territory. Each male's territory normally overlaps with those of 2 or 3 females. He knows his mating partners and doesn't indulge in a frenzy of advertising at the beginning of the breeding season. So unlike its larger cousin, the male red panda has plenty of time to scent mark and feed. Red pandas breed earlier in the year than giant pandas, and by late April, this male has probably mated with at least 1 female. In the dark underworld beneath the bamboo groves, the bamboo rat has also mated. The sexes occupy different tunnel systems, and it's left to the female to prepare a nest for the young developing within her. Even in spring, it's cold and dank underground, so grooming is essential in maintaining the insulating properties of the rat's thick coat. Without its protection, the bamboo rat could not survive. In the warm spring sunshine above, the sleeping dragon stirs. Suddenly, the canopy comes alive. Golden monkeys sweep through along like a restless wind. So much energy she needs to feed. She won't go very far. Her home range is quite small and centered on areas of prime bamboo growth. The male also needs to recoup before continuing his courtship. And as the supply gets low, it is fiercely contested. The young rat's teeth are not yet strong enough to tackle mature stems, so it strips the hard husk to expose the softer tissue inside. The infant's demands for food put a heavy burden on the mother, so she decides to chance a visit above ground to gather canes from a more distant stand. In the nest chamber, sibling rivalry is becoming intense. With their mother away, it's every rat for itself. The female giant panda has finally mated, and she now devotes all her energies to food. This may give the bamboo rat something to worry about. Pandas are distantly related to raccoons and betray their carnivore ancestry by occasionally taking carrion and live prey. The female is newly pregnant, so fresh meat would be a welcome boost of protein and calories. The feisty threat display deters the panda just long enough, and the bamboo rat makes her escape under the dense vegetation. She's safe underground, but there's still the problem of feeding her young. The female returns to the less dangerous business of harvesting bamboo stems the conventional way. Over the next few weeks, she'll drag bamboo into the nest chamber 24 hours a day to satisfy her ever-hungry brood. It seems that every creature which relies on bamboo must eat both day and night. The giant panda typically eats for 8 hours and then sleeps for 4. It's a schedule dictated by the bamboo itself. The giant grass provides so little nourishment that the panda must feed around the clock to extract sufficient energy to survive. Pandas need plenty of water, and this little female interrupts her foraging to take a drink. A Chinese water chat has arrived to take up summer residence along the river. It stakes a claim to a particular stretch. The female bamboo rat also faces disaster. The roots and stems are dead. Her sole food supply has vanished. Above ground, the stark truth of the panda situation has finally hit home. Being a specialized feeder is always risky. Now, both panda and bamboo rat have only one choice: move on to find more bamboo or die. To reach their new home ground, they cover several miles a night, a journey that drains their precious reserves of body fat. They try to keep under cover to avoid the predators that lurk at night. With such a dearth of bamboo, there's little opportunity to feed, but the rat must find stands of healthy plants within the next few days if it's to survive. The disaster is an old routine for bamboo and for the forest. The bamboo dieback allows light to reach the forest floor. New tree seedlings sprout up and become vigorous saplings. Even bamboo itself needs trees. Bamboo seedlings only develop in the shade of a protective canopy, and the trees that shelter the bamboo provide food for other creatures. The Tibetan macaque eats just about everything in the forest: fruit, seeds, bark, insects, even birds. The red panda wanders the branches alone. It's not as acrobatic as a macaque, but it's as happy high up in the trees as it is on the ground. It's late summer, and this female is sampling the most luscious stands of bamboo. She's a mother and has another hungry mouth to feed. This 4-month-old youngster is slowly in the process of being weaned. By following its mother's example, it will learn which leaves are ready to eat. A red panda's home range is modest, only about 1.5 square miles. If ranges overlap, squabbles break out with the neighbors. The interloper has escaped to the top of a tree, but not out of the territory. Not satisfied, the female confronts him. This time, he gives way gracefully. No panda would waste energy on a fight. Tree climbing is a useful skill for these little pandas. Occasionally, they might rob a bird's nest, but mostly they find a safe place to rest. On cold days, they often sunbathe in the branches, curling up on a limb like a Cheshire cat. Early October. Autumn mists drift in like wisps of smoke across the mountains of the sleeping dragon. A late harvest of berries attracts a red panda away from the bamboo. A cub and its mother are also interested in tasting this different food, but they must wait their turn. There's a definite pecking order on such occasions, and everyone knows his place. It's no wonder they're willing to wait. The sweet berries provide a huge boost of calories and vitamins to help the animals face the rigors of the coming winter. The female and her offspring approach just as the male completes his meal and gives up his place to them at the feeding bush. The cub tries a berry, but it's not what he was expecting. It's back to bamboo for this panda. Late autumn, fog settles silently around the peaks. Assembling in the mountain meadows is one of the oddest of China's exotic wild animals, the takin, a large, long-faced relative of the muskox. Its heavy, well-oiled coat will protect it from the winter snows that are on the way. Takin breed and give birth in the alpine meadows during summer. This young calf is about 4 months old. As winter approaches, they herd together and slowly browse their way down the mountain slopes in search of fresh pastures. As the cold intensifies, they'll take shelter deep in the bamboo forests. Bamboo and a quiet forest in which to find its self-imposed solitude. But it will need a most difficult thing from us. It will need to be left alone. She returns to the nest as soon as she can to make sure her precious baby is safe. With luck, and if she's a good mother, she will raise this little symbol of hope to take its place where it belongs, in the mountains of the sleeping dragon.